whatever you think about, you bring about. So only focus on what you want, not what you don't want. Because one, what is the point in thinking about all the stuff that you don't want? Some people would say, well, because you need to know what you don't want. Absolutely, you need to know what you don't want. So when you know what you don't want, then what? Well, most people continue to think about all the stuff that they don't want. They'll make, you can ask somebody, what is it that you want? And they'll just fill you with a full on list. Well, I don't want this to happen, and I don't want that to happen, and I definitely don't want this to happen. Well, what do you want then? Well, I want to feel more confident because I don't want this to happen, and I don't want to feel like this, and I don't want to feel like that. And we have these long lists of all these things that we don't want, and only a tiny little list of the things that we do want. So actually, already, if you think about it, if you focus on the things that you do want, if it is only this, this amount, this small list of things that you want, that's going to be much easier than focusing on this really long list of all these things that you definitely don't want, because let's face it, that list could go on forever. And we do spend so much time thinking about what we don't want. Just culturally, as British people, we complain and whinge about all the things that we don't want. Because if we're talking about the stuff that we do want, then, we're showing off, or we're blowing our own trumpet, and, we need to show a bit of humility. And this is how we treat people when they talk about what they want. We think they show off, so we're like, yeah, right, oh. So we go back to complain about what we don't want because it's easier and we fit into the social norms. When actually, it can just really make our life much more difficult. And the reason why we say what we think about, we bring about, is because when we focus on all the things that we don't want, generally that's what we end up with. We end up in those positions that we don't want to be in. We end up feeling the way that we don't want to feel, because quite simply, that's the information that you are giving your brain. So just like how you program a computer, or just like you would download those apps on your phone, if you think about your brain in that way, you're only going to put those contacts in your phone that you want to communicate with. You're only going to put those apps in your phone that you're actually going to use, that you enjoy using, or the games that you want to play, or whatever it is else that you do on your phone. So by focusing on what we want, actually gives us more freedom to be able to express in the way that we want, as in how we think and feel about ourselves. Because if we want to be confident, but then we also don't want to be everything else, your brain is kind of not getting the full program of being confident, it's just getting everything else. So if we think about how a computer program does not kind of program or respond to the word of a negation of the don't, it's not considered, is it? If you imagine when you Google something and you'll Google, don't show me pictures of pink elephants, or don't show me pictures of red balloons, what are you going to get? You type that into Google, you're going to get pictures of red balloons or pink elephants, or whatever you're asking it not to do, it's still going to bring that thought to you. So just like right now, whatever you do, do not think of a yellow ball. Just don't think of a yellow ball, especially like one of those big yellow beach balls. Just don't think of a yellow ball whatsoever. Do not allow a picture of a yellow ball to come forth in your mind in any way, shape or form, or even imagine like the feel of the yellow ball. Put your hand up if you thought of the yellow ball. Yeah.